Hey gamers, it's Steph from Cellar Over the Boards back with more of my top 100. Kicking it off with number 80, we have Quirkle, which is just a pattern building game. You're just trying to put all of your tiles out into a main shared area where you're trying to create Quirkles, which I think is just one of each color in a particular shape. But there's other ways that you can lay the tiles down as well. It's a little abstract, it's very simple, and it's just a good game to always return to, basically. At 79, I have Fluxx. This is just Marble Fluxx, but I have a bunch of different Fluxx games. I've played them a lot this year. I did do a couple of reviews for these. And this is another game that's just really easy to bring out with pretty much anybody. And it's just really simple. You just have to follow the rules on the cards in front of you. Sometimes it can get a little bit crazy because the rules can fluctuate a lot. It's a game that I lovingly call something that could be 5 minutes or forever because you could just be in limbo if you don't get the cards that you need to complete the goals to end it. But it is a really fun game, and there's a lot of different themes. So if Marvel's not for you, there's SpongeBob, there's Jumanji, there's a ton. So definitely look that one up if you haven't already. At 78, we have Rampage, which might not be a great game for right now because you are a monster terrorizing a city, and one of the options that you have for, you can like throw things and flick things and drop things, but you can also blow on things, so maybe don't pull this one out around this time, but in general, it is a really fun game. It's very thematic. You always definitely feel like you are the monster terrorizing the city as buildings crumble and people are kind of thrown all over the place. It's a dexterity game, and then as well as some set collection, and I think you have some other personal goals as well to get you some more points at the end. So there's a lot going on. It looks really great on the table. And I think if you have 2 sets, you can also play with up to 8 people. So it's really fun. Definitely check that out. I think it's also been renamed to Terror in Maple City, but I have the original copy here, so mine is called Rampage. At 77, we have My Little Scythe, which is just kind of a cuter version of Scythe, I guess. I actually haven't played Scythe myself, but obviously I know that it's a hugely popular game. I really like this game. I think that it's adorable. The minis are so cute, and then like all the other pieces are adorable as well. And it's pretty simple in that you're just kind of moving your pieces all over and kind of collecting different resources and trying to turn them in or trying to collect things for other simple goals, and then you can have pie fights with other players as well. But it does have a little bit of strategy to it, so it's great for adults as well. I say as an adult who really likes this game, so definitely check that out if you like Scythe and want something maybe a little bit lighter. At number 76, I have Drop It, which is, again, another just simple game of you're just dropping pieces into a little container, and you're trying to make sure that they don't touch the same shape or color, because otherwise they will not score. So you're just trying to get them in there so that they're just balancing on other shapes and other colors, and then you score based on the level that they're hitting, and then there's also some little circles in the container for you to score a little bit of extra points, and you're just moving your piece around the track as you score, and the most points at the end wins. It's pretty light, pretty simple. There's some other scoring variants that you can pick up as well to kind of change things up a bit, but in general, it's pretty straightforward, but a lot of fun and pretty good for gamers of all ages. Alright, and then coming in at 75, we have Dungeon Academy, which is a timed roll and write game. So you have a bunch of dice that you kind of just roll once into the center in a little container, and then every player has a board where you are going to move your way through a dungeon, and you are being timed. You want to be the first one out of the dungeon, but you also want to make sure that you hit as many monsters as you can to score more points. And there's also, you have health and mana, and you don't want to run out of those while you're within the dungeon, because then you will be knocked out and you won't score any points for that dungeon. So you want to make sure that you pick up some potions along the way as well, and just pick your best path without backtracking or anything like that, so that you can make your way out of the dungeon and score the most points. It's really cool that it's timed, it's fast paced, but even with that, it's not too complex. So if you like roll and rice, this is a pretty good one to check out. At number 74, I have Quicks. I do have the deluxe version here, which is the laminated dry erase boards, but I also have the smaller version somewhere. But this is, again, another roll and write, and it's pretty simple. You're just rolling a couple of dice, 2 white dice and a bunch of colored dice, and you're filling out a little board with numbers, so you can only fill in numbers on certain colored rows when you have the appropriate mix of dice, and then once you fill in, for instance, like a red 7, you can never go back to anything before it, so you want to make sure that you're filling them out as much in order as you can and filling out as many as you can, because eventually the rows will get locked and then you won't be able to fill in anymore for that row, so your score will be based on whatever you've crossed out at that point. This was definitely probably one of the first roll and rice I checked out, and it's one of the few that I have left that don't have any kind of theming, because usually I'm not a big fan of those abstracted roll and rights, but this one is amazing. If you like roll and rights, then again, definitely check this one out. At number 73, I have Dream Home, which is mostly just a drafting game. You're just trying to collect different rooms to put into your dream home, and also do some pattern building because you want certain rooms next to other rooms or next to rooms of the same type to make it a bigger room. So it's really light and it's really simple, but there is a lot of strategy in, like, do you choose to go first and maybe get less cards, or do you choose to get 2 really, really good cards for yourself? And then you also have to fill in, below floors before you can fill in above it, because there needs to be structure under it. So it also depends on where you want to put certain things like that. And there's some other scoring things, I believe, in there about where things can be next to each other, as well as some set collection for your roof as well. But there's a lot going on, a lot of choices turn to turn. So this is another really solid one if you're looking for something with drafting. At number 72, I have another fast-paced game, Roll for Your Life Candyman. You have a little gingerbread man with lots of different pieces in front of you, and you're trying to steal all the pieces from different opponents. So that'll get you points. So you're just rolling as fast as you can to collect sets. So you want to get like a set of feet, and then you can steal somebody's foot. A set of arms will steal somebody's arms. And then once all the limbs are gone, you can steal the torso and the head. But there's also ways for players to get little treats that will protect them, like as armor. And then you can't steal anything unless you get some wild rolls. So there's some things like that to try and to buffer yourself. But in general, it's just about rolling really, really fast and trying to collect as many things as you can from other players so that you are the last Candyman standing. And then finally, for this set of the list, at number 71, I have Sheriff of Nottingham, which is a really funny bluffing game. You're going to take turns as the sheriff, and other players are going to fill their bag with different goods and tell you, like, I have 3 chickens that I'm coming into town with, and you have to choose to believe them or not. If you don't believe them, you open up their bag, and if they were lying, they pay you some money as the sheriff. If they were not lying, then you have to pay them, and like as an apology to say, no, I shouldn't have opened your bag. But players, like I said, can lie, can bluff, and say that, oh, I'm bringing in some cheese, but actually they're bringing in contraband of all different kinds. So you just have to kind of know when is a good time to maybe check somebody's bag, or know when to just pass, and maybe it's not worth it at all to open that up. So it can be really, really fun if you get into it, and definitely recommend playing it with people who are willing to kind of get into the role of the sheriff and the patrons a little bit. But that's 80 to 71, so I hope you guys enjoyed this, and remember to check out the full list on the blog, and then stay tuned for some more of these videos.